All right, gonna go ahead and get started. Welcome back to yet another Moonshire Monday, and this is a bit of a different one, a bit of a unique one. Today, I want to show off some of the Steam behind-the-scenes stuff that I've been working on. So, specifically, in the past, few months, I've been working on my chat overlay code. And you can see it on my stream right now, how above my head there's the chats and all of the the music overlay and all that stuff. So all that is custom code, and I have it in a really good spot now. I made a UI, and I'm going to be showing that off today. It's really easy to use, and I'm going to be distributing it on Steam. I'm going to have it available on Steam so other people can use it really, really easily. So I'm excited for that. It's going to be really, really good to have that out there for people to use. Missed the first part of the audio. I'm sorry about that. I was just talking about how this stream, I'm going to be showing off the Steam publishing side of things. There's a lot to talk about. And also, Rick Carlson, Old School Geek, thank you so much for the donation. I saw that before the stream started, you donated for the Steam-powered launch today. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate the support. And I'm really excited to get into it today. First, I'm gonna go and show what this portal even is. What I'm showing here is Steamworks, which is the Steam publishing portal. And there's all kinds of things. And by the way, thank you to all the folks that are in chat today already. There's a lot of folks here. I recognize a lot of returning people. There's Sapphire and Future, Ayanuj, Mingiram, Rescue Squad, Mario, Wolf. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate all the support. Big ups. Oh, yes. So today, I'm going to be showing off some of the Steam stuff, because there really is a lot that goes into publishing on Steam. So the first and foremost, you need to have one of these Steam partner accounts, and that involves actually authenticating with your personal identity. And if you have a business, you have to have that registered. So you can even see up in the corner it says Challat LLC. That's the name of my official business. So that's registered with Steam, and that's how this all gets set up. But on this web page, there's a whole bunch of information about this stuff. And by the way, I hope I don't show anything private. If anyone sees something that's confidential, you should let me know. But I don't think that there's any problems. Challat as a company now. I've had the LLC for I think 5 years now. So it says unreleased apps, and this is kind of what I've been in the state I've been in for quite a while. I can go into Moonshire and we can see all of the details about what the Steam page even looks like. Store presence visible. Yeah, the game build stuff, and there's all these different steps you have to go through. And look, there's actually a checklist. I could show this. So this is a checklist that I just went through for my chat app. And I went through all this process a few years ago for Moonshire as well. That was definitely a process, but you can see you have to provide all the info, inscriptions, and release dates, system requirements, and I'm going to go ahead and show all that. I don't think that there's any issue with me showing that. But you can go into edit store page, and you can see this is for the Moonshire game app type game. So I'm going to go through all these, and we're going to see how it compares to the chat app. And first off, external links, there is a game website URL. I should go ahead and add that. There's a Challat. There's a moonshire.com. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there. Privacy policy, I don't think I need that right now. We have YouTube and we have Discord. This is updated to the new Discord, so that's good. I'm actually getting ready for a true coding club after a long time of searching. Awesome, that's cool to hear. I've never actually been in a coding club. When I was in college, I did some extra projects, or I was in a game dev club, and we did some coding. But a true coding club, that'd be nice. I think a club dedicated to whiteboarding problems or interviewing, that'd be really good too. This section here, supported platforms. This was a really complex part to get filled out as well, because really. Like OS version Windows 7. No one's running Windows 7. I hope not, at least. In fact, I should update this. I'm going to change this to Windows 10 because, yeah, Windows 10 or later. That's how I phrased it on the other one too. OpenGL 2.1 compatible GPU. I don't even think that's required. I'll leave it, but I don't think that's necessary. My brother uses Windows 7 though. Well, here's a big problem with that, is that when you use Windows 7, you are opening yourself up to security risks. And let's go to my Moonshire page. Oh, sorry, the volume was playing. So this is what the Steam page looks like. Why is I can't change the size of it. It looks like this is the smallest I can make it. That's really weird. That can't be right. It won't let me make it smaller. It's so obnoxious. But what I was gonna say is when you go to the settings in here, the system requirements, look at this. I'm so sorry, it's very hard for me to see it because the dumb Steam client is overlaid. It says, starting January 1st, 2024, the Steam client will only support Windows 10 and later versions. It's not even an option to use Windows 7 anymore because there are security risks. If the operating system is not officially supported by the developer, in this case Microsoft, they're not supporting Windows 7 anymore. It's way too old. There are security vulnerabilities when you use it. If you go on the internet, or if you use like a file browser, or if someone gets a hold of your hard drive, there's like so many insane vulnerability risks with using an old operating system. I do not recommend it. And then on top of it, like you're not even able to run Steam on Windows 7. So if the game runs on Windows 7, it should be specified no matter the current state of the OS. Yeah, that's fair. I've always been back in high school. I was president of our computer science club. Oh, that's awesome, dude! I wish that my high school had a computer science club. That would have been really nice. I would have loved that. Moonshire only has 3 wish lists. It has way more than that. I don't know where it said 3. It's a lot more than that. How do you support Mac OS? It's actually really complicated because, if I'm being honest, it's not even working currently. Like right here, it says Intel and Apple Silicon. It only works on Apple Silicon right now. I'm having a problem getting it to work on Intel. Full mining support will be there at launch. Yeah, that's definitely a launch feature, just because it's something that I need for myself to make the game work. You know. So back to this page. This is where you set all of these features, and there's so many things you can set. And I think that this stuff is more relevant to probably like high-end games. You know, I bet if we went to the Steam page for something like Cyberpunk, I bet that the minimum requirements are very different from the recommended requirements, just because there's so much room for growth. Jam, yes, thank you for jamming. I'm gonna jam as well. Last time my jams weren't working. Okay, it is working this time. Another thing I wanted to call out, I noticed when I started the stream, notice that the song, it's like really jittery. It's hard to notice. It's subtle. Yeah, do you see that? You updated the UI? Yeah, I updated the UI. Really, the purple color scheme is something that I did on the fly. What do I think of the new Pokemon game that was announced? It looks nice. The environments look nice. The starters look good. Overall, I think it looks fine. It looks fine overall. I thought it was my lag. No, it's definitely an issue with it's an issue with the rendering software. I think that it's a bug with my scrolling text logic. I think the whole browser source is a little bit laggy for some reason. I'm not sure why, so I'm gonna have to put a little bit more work into that. But over the past week, I put so much new work into the overlay stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and show that off soon after I go through all this stuff. But we have the release date. It says that the specified release date is November 29th, 2026. We'll go ahead and keep that in place for this. This is for Moonshire, by the way. So officially, Moonshire is set to release on November 29th, but I'm pretty sure I originally set that to November 29th, 2024, and then I changed it to 2025, and then I changed it to 2026, so we'll see if it actually makes it there. Benny 8 AM, hi, welcome in. So this is the main one, and there's the description. This is where I have like all the about. You can put in GIFs and stuff. I'll probably be doing that later. There's a lot of things you can put in, and also the graphical assets. This is probably the hardest and most time-consuming part. Oh, what the heck? Why is it? It says that store assets 0 out of 4 added. Did they change the? What the heck? That's so confusing. I think that they changed the dimensions that we need. Add new temporary override of base. I don't know what this even means. I'm gonna show you. Oh, here, they're down here. I don't know what was going on up here. Always been on Moonshire 2028. I mean, that's legitimately likely. Oh, it does say old. It says old. These are the old dimensions. I uploaded these images several years ago, and it seems like, yeah, it says missing newer 462 by 174. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the project that I did this in. This is something that we could do on stream right now. That would actually be a good thing for us to do, is change the dimensions, because these are all outdated. This says old. I need to change this from 460 by 215. I need to double it. And that's really easy. I just need to re-export all this stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. It's a perfect thing to do for stream right now. How many pixels tall your player character would be? Really, I did. In fact, if you go through this channel, the devlogs and stuff, you can see that the character changed a little bit a few times. The Legend of Lua character is a little bit different dimensions than the current one, which is different than the one that was on like TikTok and stuff, the like white guy, brown hair character. So I want to go over to where I have all this artwork, which I have it buried in. Okay. Here is all of my promotional artwork for Moonshire, and we have the Steam folders. There's 2 of these. I think that the recent, yeah, here are all the recent ones. What do you think about, or what do you think makes Moonshire different from other RPGs? I'm curious about how you think. Oh, definitely the big thing that sets it apart now is the physics system. Is how it's a 2D pixel art game where you can like jump around, and there's like actual like cool move things that you can do. I feel like it's really unusual for a game to allow you to have this much movement in a 2D space. So I think that's the big thing that sets it apart now. But besides that, I think the modability is going to be really big, and I just have a lot of mind. The game looks laggy. Oh no, maybe the whole stream is laggy. Okay, here's another thing. I put in a new graphics card. I forgot to mention that. I put in a whole new graphics card, so maybe the stream in general is lagging. Let me go to my settings for... You saw the character swim. Yeah, there's a bug where it like swims for a moment. You need to update the drivers. I already updated them, so it's not that. I'm guessing that the encoding or something, the renderer... I'm guessing that something involving this is probably wrong, because I didn't even touch this stuff. I installed the graphics card, and I didn't touch any of this stuff, so I bet that... Oh yeah, the stream is laggy. I can see it in the recording just from like moving this around. Oh my gosh, I'm losing so many frames. Am I just losing frames? Try using OpenGL or Vulkan for rendering. Okay, I think I have to stop the stream in order to do that. Is there any problems with me doing that? Is that going to screw up the... Okay, guys. Oh, JJK, welcome in. It became blue. I think that there's a... okay. I'm going to try changing the renderer from Direct 3D. It'll cut the VOD in 2. It actually might not, but it might. It might. Okay, we're gonna try it. Okay, brace yourself, everyone. The stream is gonna go down for a moment, and when we come back, the renderer is gonna be different. Okay, be right back. Uh-oh. Okay, let's see how long it takes for me to get back. Let me know when you guys see, when you guys see me back. I don't think that fixed it, and I think there is still something. We're so back. Heck yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't think that fixed it because one, I wasn't able to change the renderer. The renderer is definitely going to be stuck at Direct3D. But what I changed was, where did I change it? I changed something. I changed to use AV1 instead of the other one. I don't think that's gonna. Yeah, that didn't fix it at all. The whole stream is really, really laggy. Oh man, the game is so laggy. What is going on with that? I wonder if it has to do with the scaling. Because another thing that's different is that my camera's off sync. Oh, well, that's not good either. I'm sorry about that too. We're having so many problems this stream. For a while now, could finally catch you live. Thank you. The game is so choppy. I know. I have to fix that. I think that I need to look on Task Manager. No, I'm not gonna do that. Am I connected to stream while streaming? Am I connected to Steam or I don't know what you mean by that. I am connected to Steam, but there's not really any issues with that thing. The whole stream is off sync. Oh god, that's not good. I hope that that's not actually happening. I connected to Steam. To try Under the Island, a 2D Zelda-like made with Game Maker. I did not. I think I heard about that. Welcome back. Good morning. Thank you for being here, Mr. Sample. I'm just gonna stick with the Steam store page stuff today because it's okay if that's a little bit choppy. But in terms of sync, is at least the stream in sync right now? Also, the choppiness on that stopped. Wait, what happened? It fixed. What happened? What happened? I didn't do anything. I didn't change anything. Everything's okay now. What happened? I don't. Okay, we're calling it good. I literally didn't change anything. It just very suddenly stopped being jittery. I don't know what happened. But we're gonna call it a win. Everything's good to go now. I'm new to stream. Thank you for being here, Tavala. What I'm gonna be working on now is I'm gonna open up those. Where are they? Okay, so we have these Steam artwork images. What's the tune I'm hearing? So you can see the tune right above my head. And back in the store page, I was showing a second ago that all of the images that I have for the Moonshire Steam page, they're outdated. They're outdated. They all say old. And it looks like at some point in the past, like, few years, your dad has been playing it for the past week. Awesome, dude. I love Echoes of Wisdom. I streamed it, and when I played through it, I was really frustrated at first because it's kind of clunky to get used to, but I got so into it, and I loved it. My sync is back. I think that was a me thing. I think that's pretty common. So all of these images, I'm going to re-export to double the resolution. Thankfully, I don't have to change the actual proportions. I just need to double the output. That is weird that, create a new temporary override of base assets. Update or view base store assets. Okay. So, I'm gonna open up the project. I'm sorry, I keep saying I'm gonna do that and I don't do it. So there's this project somewhere called Steam Moonshire. I think it's this one. Give me a second while I figure this out. I'm trying to remember which, it might actually be promo. I'm trying to remember which project I have all of this stuff in there. CG Kraz, hi, welcome in. Love and Tiled. I used to use Tiled a lot. Now I'm trying to migrate away from it and have all custom level editing stuff. Come on, open up SVG. I'm trying to open up Inkscape and see what this promo image looks like. Dude, it's not opening. What's going on? There it goes. Jeez, that took forever. Give me 1 second. It's still opening. It's taking a long time. Okay. So this is actually not the right project. This is an old promo image, so I'm going to close this. I need to go into Steam. I think it's in... I have a very chill day at work, so I'm able to hop in today. Awesome. What are we working on? Working on the Steam page. Work on the Steam page. So in the Steam publishing portal, we have all these assets, and we can see that they actually changed the resolution. We need to update them. It says missing newer 920 by 430, so I need to re-export all of the assets in a higher resolution, which is really easy, thankfully, because I use Inkscape vector art to design all these things. So it's really easy to export at any resolution. It's not really an issue. So it's going to be really quick for me to do this. So this is how I manage my assets. It's a little bit of a hacky way, but I use Inkscape. Oh my gosh, that's so annoying. And what it is, it's just a really big project, a really big canvas full of every different image in one place. And I have notes where it says like header 460 by 215. And what I'm gonna do is these are now all outdated. Am I a Linux user? I tried to, but I had trouble getting the stream to be smooth. So I had to switch away from it. I'm gonna take this MOONSHIRE.svg and we're gonna move this over into, I'm gonna call this, actually we're going to not make it yet. I'm gonna put Steam 2 into here. I'm gonna move all of this stuff into a new folder called Legacy. Whoops. We're gonna do boop, 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 boop. And we're gonna move all the stuff into the Legacy folder. All I'm doing is I'm making room, because we're gonna make a new batch of Steam images. I'm gonna take this MOONSHIRE.svg, I'm gonna move it out. I'm gonna change it to Steam.svg. And now I'm going to try and trim down this document with the new dimensions, because there's a lot of them to do. I haven't used Inkscape, but I have created art programmatically using Pavre. Nice! I'm a big fan of anything like programmatic art or vector art or things that like you can represent art using math. Very, very, very cool. I'm a big fan of that sort of stuff. I love my your love tutorials, by the way. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate you saying that. Let's go back to this. Okay, so what I'm gonna do in this new document, I need to go through and change all these dimension like tags. So like this says 460 by 215. They changed it. They changed it in the store page where now the header capsule needs to be 920 by 430. So I'm gonna go ahead and change that. I'm also gonna change the text to be white. I can't read this. It's just double, 920 by 430. And then, let's see. Which one did I use? There's a lot of these. I think I still, yeah, I think we're still using this version. And we can check on the Steam page. Yeah, we can actually see it right here. We can see that this is the exact same image as this like red highlighted box. So that's what we're gonna use. Put a black outline, I'm not sure what you mean, for which one. Try a library of framework as well, like React or Angular. Yeah, I use React, actually I use both React and Angular a lot when I worked at Microsoft as a web dev. So I'm gonna take this, and I'm going to export this. Also, my way of exporting is a little bit strange, but yeah, this is how I export, by the way, is I have this box, this rectangle right here, and this rectangle has the exact proportions that I need. Before it was, you know, it was 460 by 215, but now I changed it to be 920 by 430. So now I can take this box, I'm going to reduce all the alpha to 0, and I'm going to change the width of this export to be 920. You can see that the width is 920. It automatically filled in the height to be 430 because the box has the correct dimensions. Then I can change the name. I'm sorry that the text is very, very small for you guys, but I'm going to go ahead and change this to, I'll call it MS header capsule .png. Export that reinstate the alpha, otherwise it deletes itself. It's kind of a weird little quirk. Also, I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna make an export folder where all this stuff gets exported to. It'll be more organized that way. Into export, and then we're going to make that bigger so we can see these. So there is our header capsule. That's perfect. And we'll double check that the dimensions are correct. If I go to properties, details, it is 920 by 430. Again, I'm very sorry that the text is tiny. One of Windows' biggest flaws, I would say, is that the text is very small. So I apologize for that. I'm a big fan of Earthbound. Love the soundtrack. So let's go back to the next one. This small. Also, I'm gonna specify header capsule like this, a little bit more specific, because header is a little bit vague. I'm also gonna make this bold. I just can't read it very well. Whatever. I can't make it bolder. Okay, so this one needs to be changed to white, and we're going to make the text say, what is it? Small. I think it's called small capsule. This is called small capsule, and we need to change this to be 462 by 174. CG Crash has got the emotes. Yes, yes. I need to put more work into the emotes. I really like the emotes that I got, but there's not very many of them. Updating the demo from Moonshire before release. Yes, the whole game, is going to be changed pretty substantially. So don't worry about that. It's just been a while. I know it's been a while. Small capsule. Let's go ahead and update the small capsule. This needs to be double in size as well. The old one. I don't know why. Like, why would they have the size set to 231 by 87? That's such a weird set of dimensions. I'm really glad that they doubled the size. That's just so weird. So literally I'm just doubling it to 462 by 174? Do I know how to math properly? Yeah, 462, 174. So that's good. Which of these was I using for the small capsule? Also, I'm gonna delete some of the stuff that's not being used. By the way, can you tell the difference here? It's so subtle. I love this. I love this. I love this so much. I'm gonna put these characters side by side because this is V's artwork, and I love it. But they are slightly different. This is an old version. I just need to somehow grab it. Oh yeah, you can tell the difference. It's super, super subtle. But especially the sword. I love how the sword looks in the new version. So this top one's the old one, and this bottom one is the new one. You can tell he made the cape a little bit better. The shading's nicer. I love the colors on the sword. The top one has like a thicker outline, but I just like how the bottom one looks a little bit more. Outline fonts is to draw the font with a background color slightly larger. Then again with the foreground color slightly smaller but centered. Oh, outline color for text. There's a lot of tricks you can do with that. One thing I've been doing recently is in Inkscape you can type text. I'm gonna make it big. Hello chat. So here we have hello chat. I'm gonna make it a better font than this. And I hate that font. How many wishes? Like wish lists? I haven't revealed that actually. So let's say I wanted to change this text to have an outline. One thing that I've been doing recently is using the stroke paint for paint is undefined. Yeah, I don't think I can actually do that. I can. You can add outlines using the stroke paint in Inkscape. So I can add a little bit of a black outline like this. Hey, that's actually pretty clean. So just to recap how I did that is I had the text generated, and then just in the fill and stroke section, you enable stroke, and you can change the stroke style to be thicker with this setting over here. Outlines can be done with shaders too. Totally. In GIMP, you can draw the text in layers with thicker point size. Yeah, that's another thing is you can duplicate it. That's how I did the drop shadows. check out this version of the logo right here. It's very flat. But one thing that you can do is you can duplicate it, or actually I think I have a better example. I can duplicate the black version of it, which is in MOONSHIRE. Here it is. I can import the black version of it in here, and then I can blur it, and then I can put this one on top like this, and then now it has drop shadow. Look at that. Wow, it looks so nice. So that's how I did all of these logos now, is the logo has a drop shadow, which literally is just a duplicate version of the text, and then I made it black and made it blurry, so it just looks like a shadow behind the text. That's a really, really common tactic. I probably use that all the time. But I want to clean up this stuff. There's a lot of stuff in this document that's not being used right now, and I want to make sure it's still just the stuff that's being used, so it's easier to edit these things. Because I have all the legacy stuff saved anyway. Allfather, thank you so much. Back again to support. Love the progress. Thank you so much. Allfather, so really, really appreciate the support. Thank you so much for the donation. It means a lot to me. Just moving in all these assets and making it a little bit cleaner. So this small capsule thing, let's see, currently it has no stars in it. So it looks like I'm currently using this bottom one where you can't see the stars. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete the top one. We don't need it anymore. Move this up a little bit. So again, I have the proportional box right here. And you can just like make it bigger or smaller, and then export it at whatever size you want. And I'm gonna do that right now. Excuse me. I'm going to remove the alpha. Excuse me, sorry about that. And go ahead and export it. We're exporting it small, 462, 174. So before it was 87 height. I'm gonna change this to double, 174. That changes the width. Yep, so the proportions are correct. This is going to be exported into a different folder, not this one. We export it into Challat, Steam, export. And this is going to be exported as PNG. Oh, not Challat, I'm in the wrong folder. I need to go to a completely different folder. I need to go to Pictures, and Challat, and MOONSHIRE, and Steam, and export. Oh my gosh, that's annoying. So this is going to be called MS Small Capsule. Small Capsule. And click Save. And it exports. And we should be able to see it in Steam Export right here. There it is. Let's make sure that the dimensions are correct. Pre-rendered text as graphics gives you infinitely more options than trying to create the effects within Left2D. It's a lot easier to work with an image than it is trying to use math to position everything. It is definitely harder, but there's pros and cons to each. I use both. There are situations where I use pre-rendered text, and then there's times where I use like actual printing of fonts. So we got the dimensions 462 by 174. That's good. Let's move on to the next one. The next one in the list should be the main capsule. The main capsule. So again, we just need to double the size. Why would they make the dimensions an odd number? That's so weird that they used to have it set up that way. I saw your Steam from both Mac and Windows. Which one do you prefer more to develop on? Oh man, I swear I've been jumping back and forth between so many different setups. Because a few weeks ago I streamed from Linux and I had problems. A few weeks ago I streamed from Mac and I didn't have problems. I'm just not very familiar with Mac. I think Mac and Windows are both really good. And Linux is good too. It's just they all have some quirk. I feel like every operating system has some small issue that like holds it back. Hope everyone has a good rest of the Monday. Thank you, Allfather. I love the vibes. Love the vibes. But overall, I prefer Windows just mainly because I'm familiar with it. I've been using Windows my whole life, and it really makes sense to me. And so switching around is just I lose efficiency when I'm on Mac, even though like Mac can do all the same things that Windows can do for the most part. I just know how to do it on Windows immediately. So that's just it's just a familiarity thing. And that's why I always talk about with game engines. I always recommend people use the game engine that you like the best. because that's the one that you'll be the most efficient with. So that's really all that comes down to. Most software is supported on Windows. That is also a big helping factor, is that Windows is like universal. It's the most widely used one. So I'm going to change the dimensions here to, what was it? It was 1232. What was it? My memory is no good. It was 1232 by 706. 706. And I'm going to delete this one. This is the old one. You can tell it's the old one because of the sword is definitely old. The hood used to stick straight up, but I asked him to like curl it back a little bit more. And then the logo doesn't have any drop shadow, so I'm going to go ahead and just delete all this stuff. And programming in Windows longer than Challat has been alive. Oh, you totally have. Oh, I bet. I was born in 96. And, you know, by 96, Windows has been out for a while. Windows was pretty established by that point. I was playing your demo. Is there an option to play keyboard only? I select that, but it changes to plus mouse upon playing. Oh, so the way that works is, yes, there is a way to do it keyboard only. The way you do it is you set in the option to be... excuse me. You know, that would be kind of challenging. If you just set it to keyboard only, the way it swaps between them is if you click anywhere in the game client, it detects that and it changes it back to mouse keyboard. So what you should do is if you press Z and X, the way mouse keyboard mode works is if you use Z to attack, it should switch you back to keyboard only mode. So actually, that would be a good thing for you to test out for me. Is I think it automatically switches you to mouse keyboard mode if you click anywhere in the game. And then if you click the Z key on your keyboard, Z, that's the attack button for keyboard only mode. I think it automatically swaps you over to keyboard only mode in that case, which is really hacky. I think I'm going to change it in the new version. I'm sorry that's a little bit confusing, but I'm with you. I really prefer having a keyboard only mode because when I was a kid, I grew up playing like ROMs on my keyboard, like old Nintendo games using mouse and keyboard through an emulator. And I got really used to that. What kind of features are easier, cleaner to develop in Love2D compared to game engines like Godot or Unity from your experience? Probably everything is easier to do in an established engine. But if your goal is to do it yourself, it's going to be easier in Love2D. Like, in terms of ease of use, that's the whole point of an engine. I think Godot and Unity are easier overall to do any given thing because it's like a pre-built thing. It's a pre-built engine. Compared to Love2D, it's very small scale. It's very just like the minimal, bare-bone features that you need to get the game working. And the appeal of that isn't that it's easy. The appeal of that is that you have full control. So it's deciding, like, how much of it do you want to be ease of use and how much of it do you want to be control? And some might argue that having ease of use, having control of everything correlates to ease of use. For me, that's the case because I like having full control over all the code and like all the engine stuff. I show this on stream all the time how in a game engine like Unity, you don't really need a lot of this engine level code that I wrote, like collisions or drawing or hitboxes or load and physics and Steam connections. A lot of that stuff is handled by the engine itself, by Unity or Godot. Someone already handled that stuff. But in my game, Love2D is very like cut and dry. There's not all these built-in features, so I have to code my own collisions. I have to have my own physics wrapper implemented. I have to code my own version of raycast that kind of utilize the system more efficiently. I'm sure that the stuff is built in some ways, but ease of use versus control, those are kind of two different things. How easy is it to build a house with a hammer, chisel, and saw versus a collection of power tools? Very, very good point. Is that it's easier to buy a prefab house, to build a house out of a storage container. It's easier to build a house that way compared to a traditional house, but building a traditional house has its own benefits. Using like brick and mortar, whatever you call it, wood stick roof full-on houses, those are harder to build, but they have their own benefits. They have their own appeal. Benefits of full control. It's like if I write the physics wrapper, I know exactly how all of it works. And I can cut out features that are not necessary. If there are performance issues, I can go into the code and change things around. It's kind of it's something that you don't really need to worry about unless you do want to worry about it. And that's kind of the beauty of an engine, is that they handle all that stuff for you. I think the approachability of an engine versus a framework is the big benefit. Z works and changes to keyboard only. Good. I'm glad to hear that. I think it's a little bit hacky how I implemented that, but I think that at least it does work. I remember it working fine back in the Legend of Lua days. I used my box, if you remember. Oh, I remember that. That was so cool. That was really cool that you did that. Let's move on. I keep getting sidetracked. I have not exported this yet. And it looks like, actually, even this doesn't have the red box anymore, so I need to get this back in place. This is how I frame every one of my images, as I have one of these big rectangles and I just try to position it. I keep the proportions consistent. By the way, if you hold control while scaling, it keeps the proportions consistent. So that's how I'm able to do this, is that I just scale it up proportionally so I can include as much in the image as possible. Like that. I'll probably scale this a little bit more. So that has everything included. You can see that it cuts off his finger a little bit. And I think that's okay. I think in the regular version, yeah, in this version it cuts off his finger a little bit too. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll change the width to be 1232. And it automatically set the height to 706, perfect. MOONSHIRE Steam, we're going to change this to be export backslash, and the name of this file is going to be cc dash, is it main, or is it main header, or is it header capsule? It's main capsule. Main capsule. And then export. I'm also going to write main capsule in this rather than just main. Like that. There we go. This image here, I love this character. He fits into the vertical space way better than this one. In fact, I think that's why I originally asked V to make this version of the character, is that when I tried to put this slashing guy into the vertical space, he just wouldn't fit. What the? Oh no. Where did my red square go? There it is. So when you set the alpha to 0, it deletes the square, so you have to set it back. That's what happened. That's really funny. Okay. Let's double check that this is set up properly. What software do you use to make that illustrations? Greeting from Portugal. Welcome. Thank you for stopping in. This is Inkscape. So I use Inkscape for the positioning and exporting of all this stuff. This artwork though was made by a different artist. It was made by V, and I actually don't know what they use for their artwork. But I use Inkscape a lot for my vector art. I use GIMP for regular artwork. I use Inkscape for the logo. V designed the logo, but I did a lot of my own adjustments, and I added the drop shadow using Inkscape. So Inkscape is probably my main art tool of choice. We got the CC main capsule that's in place, looking good. Jam, oh heck yeah. I program with Python and Pygame at a 1280 by 740 resolution. Sadly, most of my performance CE is lost and having to upscale the screen resolution. How I can improve on this. Okay, so the way I handle resolution is first off, my game scales to any resolution. I can make the game a small window like this. Sorry, let me scale it down. A small window like this. I can make it a wide window. I can make it a really narrow window. I can make it full screen. I can make it like this. There's a lot of different proportions you can make the window. And the way that my game works and handles this is by using a camera that scales all the graphics. And it calculates the scale on the fly. Where would it do that? I don't think I have a scale file. I think I have it in load. In the load, I have a set scale function. Scale. Where is it set? There's a set scale function somewhere. Set scale. It's in view. Or actually, yeah, it is in view. So the view, which is the camera, this calculates what the scale should be based on the dimensions of the game window. So this is the simple math behind it. And I also have another thing I can show for that. On my GitHub, I have a, what is it called? Sunscreen. I have this repo on GitHub called Sunscreen. And I think that even though this repo needs some work, I do think that this demonstrates the fundamentals and main concepts behind the scaling pretty nicely. So there's a lot of complex math a little bit that goes into making the screen scale properly like that, but I have it outlined in this file as neatly as I can. This file is 140 lines long, which is a little bit long, but really in the grand scheme of things, it's not that bad. Oh, actually, Sunscreen, this is the file that you need. The goal is that Sunscreen would be able to be just included in your project, and then you can use it. But like I said, it does still need some work. Essentially, this file will apply apply the screen transformation in order to get the scaling and the proportions working out properly. Do you have any alternatives to Winfield? Not really. I still prefer using Winfield. In my game, in Moonshire now, I'm not using Winfield anymore, because what I did is I wrote my own physics wrapper. This physics.lua file is my alternative to Winfield, because the point of Winfield, for people who don't know, is physics in Love2D is kind of bare bones, and Winfield makes it a little bit easier to work with. But Winfield is also really old, so it's outdated. That's why I wrote this physics.lua file. So actually my goal is I want to open source this file. I kind of want this to be the new Winfield alternative, because like I said, Winfield has its own problems. It's going to be outdated very, very soon. So if I have this published, but really, in general for now, I still recommend people just use Winfield. It works perfectly for the latest version of Love. It's going to be outdated in Love 12, but when Love 12 comes out, like, there's going to have to be a new piece of software that supports it anyway. So I think for now, it's just, I would stick with that. But, you know, there's pros and cons. People will give you different opinions on that. That character's very sick. Congrats for all the success you're having with Moonshire. Thank you. I would say the success is very slow-paced, though. I'm definitely taking my time with it. Probably a little bit too much time, you would say. So we're going to make this text white, and then I'm going to change. This is the vertical capsule. I go to store, vertical capsule. This needs to be changed to 748 by 896. $748, was it 896? Dude, my memory is so bad. So then I can take, not this top one, this is the old one, because this logo does not have the drop shadow. That's how you can tell it's the old version. I'm going to delete it. Delete that too. Move this stuff up. Yeah, the goal is that I only want one version of each thing. I'm going to delete this too. I'm going to delete this as well. What even is this? This is locked. Why won't it let me delete this? Maybe that's the background of the page. Or maybe something is locked. I can't figure it out. Oh well. Let's get this vertical one. Too much time is the right word? Oh yeah. But, like, I hope that, like, through these streams, you guys can see that there's a lot more that goes into it than just making the game. The game is just one part of it, and all this other support stuff is still a lot of work on top of it. I'm going to export this as 748 by 896, perfect. And we're going to export this to, this goes in Pictures, in Challat, in Moonshire, in Steam, in Export. This is going to be a PNG, and I'm going to export it as CC vertical capsule. Vertical capsule. Okay, to export it, I'm going to reinstate the alpha, and then I'm going to change this title to vertical capsule. Perfect. Let's see if that exported properly. Looks good. Double check the proportions. Properties, details, 748 by 896. Perfect. Work on this game all alone, or do you have the studio to make the art and music? I'm working on this by myself, but I do commission some folks to help out with some extra work. Like the character artwork that you see here, I commissioned someone to make that. But it is still me, like, putting all this stuff together and like finalizing all the images, and I make adjustments to all this stuff too. So even though I do get help, it's like 99.9% me. I spend all day, every day working on Moonshire stuff, and it still barely gets progress done. I guess I work on more stuff than Moonshire. Like I was saying, I worked a lot this past week on my chat application, which I haven't even shown off yet. Like I have a really awesome app that how all this stuff works. You can see like the specific, you can just set the interval. Like I can change this to 500 milliseconds. I think I'm gonna do that. You can multi-stream. You can add multiple live stream URLs to the same session of the Challat Chat session, like Challat Chat software. You can change the appearance, like above my head. I can change this in real time. I could change the background color to be green. I'm gonna make it, what should I make it? I'll make it like that. That's kind of cool. And the bubbles, let's make the bubbles. It needs to contrast. It probably should be bright. Like that. And the text color, we'll make the text color. Looks all right. Okay. Looks really cool. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really proud of how the UI turned out. It's super, super easy to work with. And that's kind of the main thing that inspired me to get it posted on Steam. Is that when I made this UI to get everything working, I'm like, this is really convenient. It's super easy to work with. I think that I could just like post this and other people could use it. Also, this is where the music is playing from. I have all my music player stuff in here. Like I could make the music quieter or make it louder. So that's how I control the volume of my music, right in this little player. You set the path to where you want the music to come from. I could change it to no song display, have it at the top, or have it at the bottom. Oh, this is awesome, dude. I'm so proud of this software. Make the text size bigger. Oh, the text size, this is the text size of the, specifically the scrolling. I can make the scroll faster. This is the sound effects. So right now, I have it set to the sound effects don't play when a message comes in, but when there's a donation, it plays this sound. And membership. That's how you change the volume. Very, very easy to use. I have my chat filter, all 1,477 words. Is that software open source? Yes, it is open source. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up as well. So it's on my GitHub. If we go to Challat and we go to repositories and we go to Challat Chat. It's funny that like I've been working on this for 7 months now. That's how long I've been working on Challat Chat, but I haven't really shared it that much. I've been using it and I've been making updates to it to make it better over the past 7 months. But as soon as it's on Steam, that's going to be the first moment that I really start getting people to use it. Look, it only has 2 stars. No one's really using it yet. But the whole software is open source, and it's good. It's good software. I'm really, really proud of it. And you can download it, by the way, right now if you wanted to. You can go to the releases. It's publicly available and download the portable version. The problem with downloading directly from GitHub is it's going to flag it as like unreliable. If I try to download this, I bet that it's gonna like flag the download, so I don't want to do that. That's why publishing on Steam is really nice, because having it through the Steam ecosystem, it has a lot of security involved with it. There's a lot more trust. So back to my store page fixes. I think I can go ahead and upload all those to fix these. We'll take these, and I'm going to drag them in here. There's a small capsule, vertical capsule, header capsule, and main capsule. Upload. Now we need to confirm that this capsule contains a legible logo. Confirm that this has no additional text. Legible logo, no additional text. Legible logo, no additional text. Legible logo, no additional text. Confirm and upload. There we go. Okay. So that actually should fix it. So all of those assets are now updated to the new version. Really good dev in general, an awesome game dev. I wonder, how are you so unpopular? Like, you have 100k subs. I appreciate you saying that, but the truth is, I haven't been posting very much. So when I was, like a few years ago, I would post a lot on TikTok, and I got like 100k followers on TikTok. And then I switched over to posting on YouTube all the time, and I was able to get 100k on YouTube. But then, at some point, I was just like, I really felt like I stagnated, where I needed to get the game out, because I was making all these videos about the game, but the game itself was not coming. It felt very, like my priorities were out of order. And I wouldn't say it was an intentional choice to stop posting, but it was, like, those videos take so much time to make. The YouTube Shorts, for example, even if it's a 1-minute YouTube short, that takes like 10 hours to make. And that's 10 hours that I could be spending on the game. And I really, really want to spend every minute on stuff that's like actual development progress. Which I say that, but at the same time, I keep switching context. Like I was saying, I switched over to working on this Challat chat browser for a week or longer. So it's kind of hypocritical for me to be saying that I need to spend all my time working on the game when I'm not. But at the same time, I think that most people will realize as you like work on stuff and get older is that it's really hard to focus on multiple things at once. It's more feasible to grow on YouTube when you focus on growing on YouTube, when all your priorities are focused on that. And if that was my case, for example, if my goal was just to grow on YouTube, then I wouldn't have rewritten the code, that's for sure. This rewrite of the code absolutely killed content production because I wasn't able to make videos anymore. And that's another thing, is that I'm having trouble making videos currently because the game still visually isn't quite back up to speed to where the old version was. Also, look, it's lagging again. What happened? What's going on? Why is it doing that? That's really annoying. Butterfly, welcome in. Dude, I don't know what is going on with my stream. How sometimes it's perfect and sometimes it's not, but like, look how laggy it is right now. On my screen, it's flawless. It's 60 frames, but on the stream, it's really laggy. So I don't know why that is. That's pretty weird. Okay, let's go back to working on these assets, because there are actually more. Why did I need to recode it all? I didn't actually need to. The reason I chose to is because, like, if you play through the Steam demo, there's a decent amount of content. There's, like, the town, and the cave, and the cloud area, and there's, like, 4 different bosses. There's a lot of content. The problem with that content is that it really felt like I was recoding everything from scratch with every piece of content that came out. And the whole purpose of this rewrite is to make it so developing content is much smoother, is so easy. Also, to make it so that other people can make content. I was struggling to make, and when I say content, by the way, I mean levels. I mean new enemies, stuff to do. The thing that I've been working on for the past, like, year has mostly been, like, engine level changes. I haven't been making new bosses, new levels, new stuff to do, new weapons. I've just been taking my current like game and making the code cleaner, making it easier to work with, and making it expandable so that it's more feasible to make levels. Because, for example, making a custom level in the old engine involved using tiled, which is what I have shown right here. And tiled is convenient and easy to work with, but look how awkward it is, like with all the grass. It just shows all these like dots, and this is where the fire pit is. It's really clunky. You have to manually draw in the walls. It's not an intuitive process to design levels, and in the old code base, this was the only option. There was no option besides like doing this manual. Like, look, I drew in manually the water spaces. This is how the game knew where the water was, because I had to manually draw in these triangles that tell us like this is where the water actually exists. The new engine doesn't have any of that. The new engine, you design the game levels from within the engine itself. So like if I want water in the game, I don't need to worry about like putting in the tiles on one layer and then manually drawing in like this really precise water deciding thing. It is so obnoxious. Instead, now it all comes from the game engine itself. I can grab the bucket of water and I can just like draw in water like this. And like, it's awkward that there's a plant in it, but it works. Oh yeah, I forgot about this like weird double thing. But my point is, now that the level design is built into the engine, it's possible for people to make their own levels. And that's kind of the whole point, is that it's so time consuming to make levels. I want to be able to make my own levels in a streamlined way, and I want other people to make their own custom levels, like modders, or even people that I hire. I talk about how I hire people to help with the artwork. Like this artwork was made by someone else. It would be really cool if I could hire someone else to help with some of the level design. And in my old setup with this, hiring someone else just wasn't in the cards. It was too awkward to work with. But hiring someone else to make levels like in the engine like this, it's so much easier. You can really, really easily draw in levels and stuff like this. You know, it has some work to do. Like, look, all the grasses, they stay in the water. That's obviously, that needs to be fixed. But level design as a concept happens in the engine now. I can draw a new like platform like this, and I don't have to worry about you know, going into tiled and putting in one of these dots. Crazy map in the old system. The thing is that this mapping system with tiled, the tiles are visible in tiled, but anything that's like programmatic, or an object or a character or an enemy or an item or a prop or a box or something that you can enter, anything that has physics, it just is represented by these dots. Like this dot right here, it says mob human blacksmith, logs, tree kiln, tree. Remember how everything used to be trees? That's another thing that changed. This is the dummy. It's just really, really awkward. That grass and water looks natural, as if it was some kind of overgrown aquatic plant. A little bit, yeah. And in fact, I bet that I could design some sprites or plants that would like actually look really good in the water. I think part of the reason why it doesn't look good in water is because it has shadows. If it had a ripple, I think that would look better. Any tips for making good top-down player animations? I really like how yours look, and I was wondering if there's a secret. I think one secret to making the animations look good. I'm trying to remember if I can find where I have some of these old examples, because I have one really, really good example of me animating the player movement. I'm gonna try and find it real quick. I'm in this old code base. If I go to player, I think it's under edit. Maybe this? No, it's not this one. I don't think it's this one either. Open. Oh my gosh, what's going on? No, it's not this either. Oh, it's narrow, it's narrow. I think it's walk down. Oh my gosh, why is it so slow? It's not walk down. Dang it. This is the latest version of the animation. But there's one version of one of these files where you can see like my process of getting to the final version. One thing I wanted to point out with animations, with like a walk cycle, it's really important that the body bobs up and down. So if I go through each of these 6 frames, you can see that there's 6 frames here. And some of them are up and some of them are down. So this is the up sprites, down, up, down. It's really important when you get this step motion that you have some kind of actual vertical movement, so that like, because when you watch someone walk around in real life, they can I demonstrate this? Can I get up and walk around? And I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so what I was gonna say is that like when you're walking, you actually do bob. You don't like. I don't think I'm demonstrating this very well. The idea is that the character can't. It would be way better if I had an example. If I had an example of this, I need to find an example. I have. I'm so sad I can't find it. One of these is a really good example. Maybe it's an old player walk, maybe. Well, this is the old walk cycle. It's not the old walk cycle. This is the old character shape. You can see that they're actually a little bit different. I'll put them side by side. So this is the current one, and this is the old one. The only difference is that this one is wider. It's 1 pixel wider than this one. But I have a better example somewhere. Let me see if I can pull it up. Player sheet demo? Maybe this one? Look at this! Look at this guy! Dude, I love these old versions. This is when I was first designing him. Look how weird he looks. So this one we can see a little bit of progress, I'm sure. This is when I changed like the colors around. Yeah, it's starting to look a little bit... Yeah, this looks pretty normal, but it's still wide. So these are the Legend of Lua sprites here. I think I can pull up... Is it new player? This is the one. This is the one. This is the one. I wish I could show... So check out this animation right here. After I designed the character to look like this, I asked Tris Pixels to help me with animating, to help me with like the keyframes exactly. So he came up with this. And I wonder if I have... Oh, I really wish I could pull it up. Oh, I'm so sad. What I want to do, I wish I could like play the animation, but you can see from like the proportions, like the face is a little off. It's a little off. And this document, it like helps with showing the progress of how I got to the final version. So this is what it started with, and then this is all the steps I took to get to the final version. Actually, it started here, and I was like moving the head around like this. I made the face bigger, so I made the face consistent with the main face, and then you can see like I changed the head shape to be more rounded on some of these guys, moved them up. So actually, the thing I was talking about where he was like bobbing up and down, this version was bobbing up and down too much. So from this frame to this frame, I actually made it more consolidated. Then I think I squeezed it. Yeah, this one squeezed in the chin a little bit more. Want quick advice on where to learn OpenGL. I actually don't really have good advice on that because OpenGL is kind of a mysterious thing. It's also kind of dependent on like what game engine you're using. I would say that whatever game engine you want to like use for making games, or like when you say OpenGL, what specific thing do you want to make with OpenGL? I never really recommend like learn the language, I always recommend build something with it. So if you want to learn OpenGL, my advice is to make something with it. Make a really, really simple feature for a game or some small thing that you can practice with it. And when you do that, like, it's gonna be hard because you don't know how to use it, obviously. But by overcoming that's how you learn. I think that will teach you a lot better than just like reading about it online. So this is more. These are more adjustments I made to get to the final version. Looks like I'm mainly just moving around like the black pixels versus the belly pixels. Oh, here's where I decided to like move the head back in because yeah, you can see in these early versions he's like leaning forward really far. So I changed that so it's not really leaning forward as much in these versions over here. I can see that the cape is really messed up on this guy. I'm pretty sure I changed that next. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, I did. So that cape got changed. It's really starting to come together now. This is basically the final version at this point. From here, it looks like I was just making adjustments to the other sprites. So that's the process I went through of getting to this final version. I love how this walk cycle animation looks, especially when you compare it to the first version. This version sets the like keyframes, it sets like some of the shapes of the character kind of nicely, but it really needed to clean up to get to this point. And you can see it took a lot of iterations. I started here, and there we go. That's how you get there. What do I use for animation? I use Asprite. Asprite has this built-in like animation tool, so that's how you're able to get the animation playing. Why is the thing jittering? Look at that. Look how bad the jitter is. That's so weird. I don't know what to deal with that is. That's so weird. I might have to do... Wow, that's so bad. I might have to do a little bit more research to figure out why the stream is a little bit laggy. I bet there's some like weird setting with my new graphics card that I haven't set properly yet. Okay, let's go back to working on the store page because there are more assets that need to be updated. So we fixed all of these. These say new and new. So that's good. Then I need to go to library assets. This one's fine. This one's old. So this library header is one that we need to change next. Asprite's amazing for pixel art. Love it. Yeah. Maybe OBS is set to a certain frame rate cap. Probably not, because like it keeps going back and forth. Look, it fixed. It's back to normal now. What happened? Yeah, that's confusing. I'm not quite sure. So actually, all of these are fine except for this library header. This is the one that needs to be changed. So I'm gonna open up this. This is library. What does that say? This is library capsule. I need to label these properly. These are old. We're gonna make this text white so we can read it. This is library capsule. That way I will remember. What photo editing? This is Inkscape. So this one's actually fine. I don't need to replace this one. This is the library capsule. Next we're gonna move on to the library header. This is the one that does need to be changed. This needs to be doubled in size. Is that the next one? This is library hero. This one doesn't need to be changed. I am gonna change the text to be white though, so we can read it. Library logo is also fine. We can leave that as is. I'm gonna get rid of this old version. Actually, I need to clean these up a little bit too. Is the hero using the non-star version? It is. It's using the... There's no stars in this version, so that means I'm using this bottom one. So I'm gonna get rid of this. Delete. Moving this up. One of my streams, I think it was last week's or the week before, it got copyright claimed because of a Zelda song. And what happened is I had a Zelda song playing, kind of like right now, and it mistakenly identified it as someone's cover song of a Zelda song. So I lost some revenue from that. So like, the current state of music ID on YouTube is really rough, where you can't really trust the ID process. It's really annoying. I also got claimed for Final Fantasy music, so I had to remove every last bit of Final Fantasy music from my playlist. Very sad, because I love Final Fantasy music, but it's all gone. I've been getting so many streams completely demonetized, not even claimed, demonetized completely because of Final Fantasy music, so I can't play that anymore. And by the way, they have every right to do that. It's their music. If they don't want people playing their music on streams, that's their choice. They have every right to do that. I respect that. But once Moonshire has music, my policy will be, if you want to play my music on your stream, by all means. Page background. This is the same too. I don't need to change this. I thought video game music was non-copyrightable. Oh no. Oh no. The exact opposite, unfortunately. Or fortunately. I mean, like, in the same way, it is copyrightable because you wouldn't want, if you were a developer and you had a song in your game, you would not want someone to take your song and put it in their game. You would not want someone else to take your music and use it for their own products, because that's not fair. It's your music, it should be yours. You also have the right to share it and allow people to play it, allow businesses to use it using commercials, but all of those cases tend to be like legally confirmed. Like, you get a license to use that music. What were your impressions of Wind/Waves? It looks fine. I think visually the graphics look good, and the starters look fine. I think that it looks promising. But the thing is, I have not been very impressed by Game Freak games for a while. I liked Legends, was it ZA? I liked it. I had fun playing through it. It has some jankiness to it, though. It has some jankiness. There's some problems with it. And even when I watched the trailer for Winds and Waves, something about it, I don't know. But I'm optimistic. Like, it does look good. And I will definitely play it. I've played every Pokemon game. I'm definitely going to play this one. And I like the direction ZA took things. I like the open world aspect. I like the active time battles where you, like, choose moves and move around. I think it's fun. I hope the game series moves in that direction, because it's a lot of fun. It's really, really good. But at the same time, you know, I hope they get their act together in terms of, like, performance and stuff. We already know the budget for the game. It's pretty scary how underfunded Pokemon games are. That's ironic, isn't it? Underfunded. You wouldn't really expect the most valuable franchise to be underfunded, but here we are. That is very strange. I'm going to get rid of some of these old things, because we don't need these. Why would they invest more money? Oh, yeah, that's the thing. From a business perspective, if they can make a game with low budget and it sells just as well as a game with a high budget, I guess it makes sense. So I think I'm kind of perpetuating the problem by purchasing these games. What was the one I asked? There was... Pokemon fans are going to show up no matter what. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. And you know, there are good things about all those games, even the ones that are, like, really bad. Like Scarlet and Violet, for example. Scarlet and Violet came out, and the performance on that game is unforgivably bad. It's so bad. I was shocked at how bad Scarlet and Violet was. It's embarrassing. It's probably the worst first-party game performance I've ever experienced. But at the same time, I still played through it and I liked it. Like, I still had fun playing through the game. So what does that say? Well, like, what does that imply? Is that, like, am I able to see past horrible, glaring flaws and still enjoy the art behind it? I guess. But at the same time, if I'm paying for a subpar product and enjoying it, and that kind of sends a message to the company to keep on doing it that way. So I don't know, you know, Black Ops 7 costs like 800 mil. Are you kidding me? Winds and Waves is 25 mil. That's crazy that they can get away with a budget that low. 20, that can't, really? 25 mil, that's so low. That's absurdly low. It's absurdly low. Like when you put it that way, they should invest more money because you can get a lot more mileage, I would think. I forgot about the stream and I wasn't notified by YouTube. Is anyone else having issues with YouTube notifications? I'm sorry to hear that. To be honest, I have issues with YouTube notifications sometimes too. I got sidetracked. What was what I needed to fix? I need to fix the library header. Library header is too small. It needs to be doubled. Let's go to library. Which one is library header? Library capsule? Which one is library header? Is this just one of the old ones? I think it is. I think it's a repeat. Is it this one? Oh, it is. So library header is actually the same thing as header capsule. And I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there so we know. Yellow cloak and the splash. Oh yeah, I don't know if I ever showed this artwork. This artwork is awesome. I love this artwork. This spear guy, the yellow one, is another version that V made, and it's awesome. I really, really love it. But I don't think that I don't think I've used that character yet in any of the promo artwork. I think that it still has, it's still waiting to find the right spot. But it's a really good character. I love it. Let's go back over to... I lost track. What was it called? It was called the library header. Library header. Multiplayer launch. That was the intention. That's why I asked him to make that that character. A shiny main character. Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, you can change the character colors however you want. Go over to MOONSHIRE and Steam and export. And this is a PNG. And this is library header. Opinions on Pokemon Go. Oh man, I loved Pokemon Go so much. When Pokemon Go came out, I was playing it nonstop for months that whole summer. I was so into it. Really, really loved that game. And then I haven't played it since then. But I hear that they've made it way better. In fact, when it was popular, like when I was playing it, it had some issues. And I bet that all of those issues are fixed by now. You had to be there. Oh my gosh, it was magical. People went outside. Did I watch a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms? I've never heard of that. So let's get this library header. That got exported. I'm realizing that I should probably re-export all the other ones as well. Library header. I'm going to upload this real quick before I forget. Otherwise, I'm going to forget. So we're going to take library header, put it here. This is library header. Upload. I confirm that this has a legible logo. And confirm. Favorite song on the Undertale soundtrack? I really like the Undertale soundtrack. I've listened to this song 1,000 times. Okay, that's good to go. Looks like we're in good shape. Should I publish these changes? So whenever you make changes to a Steam page, it comes up with this like big diff. It looks like it changed the header image. It changed the hero capsule. It changed the main capsule. It changed the small capsule screenshots. Oh, I didn't change the screenshots. It changed the library header. And it changed the asset M time. Okay. We're going to publish to public. And successfully published. So, now, all of those changes, all of those assets should be visible in the Steam page. You may want to flush the home page. I mean, yeah, it's the same thing. But what I was saying a second ago is I think that I do want to re-export all of the ones I skipped. Like Library Hero, I skipped this one. I'm going to re-export this into the new folder. It's really not necessary, but I'm going to do it anyway. Just so it's consistent. Into Challat, into Moonshire, into Steam, into export. And this is a PNG. I guess I want to give it the updated names too, because I want to name this CC Library Hero. I'm gonna have to save it twice because I forgot to set the alpha. Oh, I didn't. Okay, there's that. Now, library logo. 1280 by 720. It actually doesn't need to be 1280 by 720 because I just did this for Challat. They changed the requirements for this. I'm gonna change this. I can fix this too. Because if we go to graphical assets, library, the logo, they changed this. It says either 1280 pixels wide and or, yeah, so I'm gonna change the conditions of this to this. I know that these are weird stipulations, but all this means is that before I had it set to 1280 by 720, but now it only needs to be 1280 by anything, or anything by 720. So I'm gonna take this Moonshire logo. I thought MS was short for Moonshire and CC was short for Challat. That is. That's what I named them. Did I misname it? Oh, I think I did. Did I export to the wrong one? I did. I was naming them wrong. Good catch. Good catch. I was naming them wrong. Thank you for catching that. The reason I was doing that is because, yeah, I was calling it CC for Challat because I just went through this whole process for Challat. Thank you for calling that out. I totally would have missed that. Uh-oh. If it's not too much trouble, could I ask you for a video? I don't know if it's too difficult. Could you make a video explaining inventory systems? I mean, so the thing about an inventory system is that's very specific to your code base and your code architecture. An inventory system, and also it depends on like what style, because you have like a Zelda inventory system where there's a preset position for each item to go, or you could have an inventory system like Minecraft where it's flexible, what item goes where into which spot, and those are two different things. I would recommend starting with a very simple inventory system where you have like 5 items total that you can collect. Like you can collect gold, or silver, or charcoal, or stone, or diamonds. So you have those 5 items, and those are the only items you can collect. And you have a variable for each one. How many gold do you have? How many diamonds do you have? And it's literally just ticking up like one by one. Whenever you collect gold, it ticks the gold number up. And then your inventory system is just, it says on screen, how many gold do you have? How many silver do you have? It's just like a counter. Am I playing the new Resident Evil? I was on the fence about playing it because I actually received it for free. When I bought my new graphics card, it came with Resident Evil Requiem. So I was thinking about booting it up and trying it out because it got really good. It got really good reviews. Is this music not from Kirby? It is originally from Superstar. But when Melee came out, they used it for Superstar, or they used it for Melee All-Star mode as well, which is very funny, considering they're made by the same company. So that's probably why that happened. But that's a very good call-out, Butterfly. I was gonna mention I need to re-export this logo. We're gonna change this to be like down here. Requiem, it looks awesome, but I cannot play these horror games. I would struggle with it too. I would struggle with it if I was to play it. Yeah, Melee was made by Sakurai, and Kirby Superstar was also made by Sakurai. So it makes sense that there's some overlap with the music. What card did I get? I got a 5070 Ti. So it's pretty high end. And actually, let's check and see the task manager settings for that, because I should be able to see the performance. Oh, so much better. So much better. Look at this. GPU memory, 48 gigabytes. That's insane. Well, dedicated GPU memory is 16. But that's awesome, because my old graphics card that I was streaming with prior to this was a 3050, and it had 6 gigabytes of dedicated GPU memory. I think that's why my streams were so bad, so choppy, and they chugged. My old graphics card was crap. Well, it wasn't really crap. It was just like, it was kind of low end for streaming, I think. This new one is like overpowered for streaming. I did not need to buy a 5070 Ti, but I did. Also, graphics cards are very expensive right now. I had to pay a little bit extra for it, but it's okay. 64 gigabytes of RAM. It has all the RAM. Yeah, I bought the RAM before prices got crazy inflated. But here's a consideration that I didn't even realize. When I made this new build, I recycled a lot of my old parts to make this new PC. And I'm realizing that kind of was a mistake. Because I wanted to reuse like the storage and the RAM and the graphics card and the GPU or the CPU. That was a mistake. I really should have just upgraded or changed out everything, because like this memory, it's nice having 64 gigabytes of RAM, but this is DDR4 RAM, and like the DDR5 RAM is a lot better in terms of performance. In fact, I'm gonna ask an AI real quick to see how much better. How much better is DDR4 than DDR5, or DDR5 and DDR4. It's not that. I guess it's not that much of a big deal. It says 20 to 30% bigger or higher. But that is a consideration. Like if you're using modern memory, that alone is a performance boost over the old stuff. Yeah, 20% improvement is not that big of a deal. I think that it's better for me to save money, because RAM right now is unbelievably expensive. It's way inflated. So yeah, I think that explains it. What are these spikes? What keeps happening? What are these spikes that keep happening? Also, the stream is not choppy anymore. I got a little bit of investigation to do. It was not AI, it was Challat. Yeah, it was me. I was the one causing the shortage. That's pretty funny. I want to export this logo as 1280 by something. It used to be something different. We're gonna do 1280 by 202. Perfect, I like that. Pictures, Challat, Moonshire, Steam, export. Ugh, okay. PNG. This is going to be MS library logo. Library logo. So this is a big consideration. Before, and we might be able to see this. Look at all this blank space. Look at all this blank space around the Moonshire logo. That's because I made it 1280 by 720, but they changed it so that it's 1280 by, it's either 1280 by 720 or 1280 by anything or anything by 720. So it's a lot more flexible. I can make the logo more compact. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna upload this. MS library logo. I'm glad you pointed out that I was saying CC. That's just wrong. Transparent logo. Yep. Much better. Look, all of that blank space got removed. It's still 1280 wide, and it's actually it's still the same height, but the blank space is removed. It's a lot better now. So that's good. Which other ones do I need to export still? I did hero, page background. I'm not gonna bother exporting that because I guess I will. I will, just because I want to keep it consistent. But I actually don't really like this page background. I want to change it at some point. Okay, this should be the last time I have to navigate through my dumb folders. This is MS page background. Awesome. Okay. I think that we're done with Moonshire changes. I want to open up the same project, but for Challat, because it's the same. Like, I just went through this, I think last night even. Go to Challat. There we go. We're gonna edit store page. I should be able to see the store beta. Okay, so this is what the Steam page is gonna look like. Capture and display any live stream chat in a customizable overlay with multi-stream support, YouTube, Twitch, Kick. You can monitor all messages in one place with ultra low latency, no cloud, all local. That's good. I like my background. I like the logo. I could probably get better screenshots. I wanted to get a screenshot of like one of my streams where I'm actually using it. I think that'd be cool. Hi, what am I doing today? I'm working on Steam page stuff. So I was showing a lot of the Moonshire Steam page stuff, and I'm going to show some of the Challat Steam page stuff because I just went through all this stuff last night. And it's also in a different folder, which is annoying. Does it come with custom commands like jam? Yes, it does. You will be able to jam built in. Actually, I think I have that as a flag over in settings. Yeah, jam mode. I have actually a check mark for it, so you can turn it on or turn it off. Any games made with love that impressed me? Balatro definitely impressed me. But I wouldn't say that the framework or the engine itself is particularly impressive. It's just what someone does with it. You can do anything with Love 2D. You can make a 3D game. I've seen some impressive 3D demos even with Love 2D. I would say that's pretty impressive. What Steam, and we'll open up the Steam SVG. And I made sure when I made this SVG, it's formatted in a really similar way that the Moonshire one was formatted. Let it start up. There we go. And this is the same sort of idea where I have all of the different categories and their proportions laid out. I want to put a little bit more work into these. Especially like main capsule. Look how boring this is. It's just a big rectangle with a logo. I need to put something else. I started experimenting with like organizing a little like chat window, like an example like this, but I ended up not using it. The vertical capsule. Yeah, same with this. Like, this is so boring. It'd be cool if I had like a little browser window demo or some kind of clip art in addition to this. I might hire an artist to help me flesh this out. Would I consider myself an artist? I would consider myself an artist by now, yes, but it's very specific. I feel competent at pixel art. I feel competent at graphic design, like this logo, this C Challat logo, and the text logo too. I designed both of these completely myself, and I'm really impressed. I'm really happy with how the logo turned out. I love it. I love the gradients. I love the clever design, how the chat bubble comes out, it makes a C shape. I really am proud of this logo. I like coming up with clever graphic design stuff, and I think that I'm pretty good at it. But when it comes to detailed character artwork, I'm really not very good at that sort of stuff. Like, if I go back over to the, or all that Moonshire artwork, it was, I couldn't do that stuff on my own. Am I making an app? Yes, it's actually done and ready, and I'm using it right now. So it's called Challat. It's the text overlay that we see above me. It has the connections, it has the appearance stuff, you can change the colors, it has the music player and the music display. All this stuff is built into this app, and it's going to be available for free through Steam. It's open source, it works perfectly. I'm so proud of it. I'm very, very happy with Challat. And I made this because I couldn't find any good alternatives. What is it made in Love 2D? No. Challat is made using web framework. So it's a Node.js app, and it's wrapped in Electron for the UI and for the whole kind of framework. It's an Electron app, basically. If you look up Electron desktop apps, that's what this is. And the way that this works is once it makes the connection, it's hosting a bunch of like background processes, one for the connection that reads chat, one for the browser overlay source, because this is just a web browsing source. I can copy this URL, go to a browser, and just like open it. See, now we're in the overlay. It's literally just a web page that is visible in OBS. So what we see above my head is what we're seeing over here in the web page. Good thing about being a programmer, if you can't find a solution, make it. Exactly. So anytime I like type something, it's gonna just appear right up in here. Challat is jamming. For some reason, the user icons are not showing up in here, but they are showing up above my head. Yo, I'm on the screen. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, like I was saying, this is literally just a local host endpoint that it's hosting the app at, and that's how it's rendering above me in OBS. You would install it as a browser source. Have I tried Tori? Yes, actually I have. When I was doing the Electron stuff, I specifically looked at Tori as an option, but I ended up not going with it. I ended up not going with it because, there was a specific reason. The reason I didn't go with Tori is because I needed to package Node.js with it. So the way that the background process works, where it's like, where it's reading all these people's messages, that uses Node.js to process all that stuff. And if I wanted to have that available in Tori, I would have to package Node.js with Tori, which kind of defeated the point, if you see what I mean. It's like, Electron had it bundled in natively, so it felt like less wasted resources compared to Tori. Tori is very lightweight, and for a lightweight desktop app, that would work really well, but this one, Challat is a little bit more than lightweight. These connections have a lot of background processes. Hosting the browser source has a lot of background processes, and Tori just wasn't quite enough for me to make it work without onboarding a bunch of extra stuff bundled with Tori, which, again, defeats the purpose. How many programmers does it take to change a light bulb? None. That's a hardware problem. I've heard that joke before. That's a good one. Got 10 more minutes of stream. But what was I showing? I was showing all these capsules and stuff. So, really, I'm interested in people's ideas for things I could do for these capsules, because right now they're all the same. It's just the logo with the purple background. Especially for like this main capsule and for the vertical capsule and library capsule. These are so boring. I would really like something else in there. I'm trying to decide if I want like some kind of clip art or you're not allowed to put text. You can't put text in there. Doesn't Electron bundle a customized instance of the Chromium browser? Yes, exactly. Is that the way this UI works is that it's literally using WebView to render all this stuff. And that's the convenient process, is that when I looked at all the features that Challat needed, it lined up really nicely with Electron. And normally I wouldn't want to go with Electron because it's very heavy. Electron is a heavy framework. It's what VS Code, by the way, this app here that we're looking at, VS Code, is built on Electron. And you might argue, oh, well, it makes sense that VS Code would have a really heavy framework because it's really feature rich. But Challat's the same way. It has a lot of background features, and Electron just provides. It worked out really nicely. Making this admin UI as like a desktop application was so easy. It really made it so nice. Kind of looks like these C++ and C# logos. Yeah. One thing I was worried about is it actually reminded me of was it the Chicago Bears? Chicago Bears logo. You know what? Never mind. It's actually not similar at all. Is there a baseball team that is it the Cubs? There's some sports team where it looks really similar. Chicago's Cubs logo. It is the Cubs. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, mine kind of looks like this, but not really. I still feel like there's another one that I'm thinking of. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Is there a sports team that has like a C as part of it? Because I feel like I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to figure out where this logo looks like. It reminds me of something. I can't put my finger on it. It does kind of look like the C# logo. I'll look that up too. Like this purple one right here. It definitely looks like that. It has a really similar C. Kind of similar coloration too. Colorado flag? Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Colorado flag. Not quite, but it is similar because it has like the circular C. I'm thinking of something that uses like this wedge shape to get the C. I can't remember what it was. Oh well, it's not important. Clearly, it must not be very popular if I can't even remember what it was. I always thought it was the Cubs, but it must not be. Welcome back, Butterfly. One very powerful feature of Challat Chat is that you can have multiple connections, so you can multi-stream using it. And that's probably like actually a controversial feature now that I'm thinking about it, because Twitch doesn't allow you to do that. If you are multi-streaming, actually, and also don't take my word for this. I think that it's different. It's different policies for different platforms, but some of them allow you to combine your chats in the same like window, and some of them don't. I think the policy is that on Twitch, you can only show your Twitch chat on Twitch, but on YouTube, you can show like a combined chat, or you can change. I think Twitch just changed on this. That's kind of why I don't want to speak with much authority, is because it does keep changing. They do keep changing their policies on that. They let multi-chats now. Oh, awesome. I would love that. And well, if they do, Challat is perfect for it, because what you do is I plugged in the URL for YouTube. I would just plug in the URL for Twitch, Jeez, I can't spell. Twitch.tv/Chalacade. And then I would connect. And it worked. We are now connected to my Twitch chat as well. So does that work? Can you go into someone's Twitch chat and like type into it when it's not active? I don't think you can. Yeah, I don't think you can. But if you could, you'd be able to see those Twitch chats show up in Challat Chat. And they're formatted like Twitch messages. So you can see visually which ones are from YouTube. Because the thing about YouTube messages... Where is it? The thing about YouTube messages is that... Where is it? They have the icons. YouTube users have... oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. My computer is screwing around. You can see profile images on YouTube. But Twitch doesn't have profile images. So if it was a Twitch message, the format would look different. It would actually have the colored text that Twitch has. And if there are badges, it shows the badges. It works with custom emotes. I haven't even shown this. It works with all my custom emotes as well if I post those. For some reason it's pixely, but that's because I have it blown up. Like above my head it looks good. What does interval mean in this context? That's an awesome question, and I'm actually trying to figure out a better phrasing for this. Interval is the poll rate. It is how often the program is checking the chat. Do I stream on Twitch often? I stream every Monday at night. So I'm going to be streaming tonight, again, at 7 p.m. Central. And I'm going to make a post. I need to, like, schedule these streams better. The idea with interval, if you lower this down from like 2 seconds, this means that the program is checking for new messages every 2 seconds. If I move it down to 500 milliseconds, which is probably a better place for it to be, that means every 500 milliseconds, or twice per second, it's going to check for new messages. It says one message. Did someone chat? I don't know how I got one message from my Twitch chat. Oh, it did work. Message from Twitch tag. Yeah, it did work. Yeah, someone posted, and you can see it. You can see it. Thank you for doing that, by the way. You can see that person's Twitch chat message, and it combines them pretty seamlessly. Is there a reason you stream on both? The reason I stream on both right now is to test on both platforms. Because I've been testing Challat for the past 7 months on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Yeah. Formatting it could probably be a little bit improved. Wow, yeah, it's totally working. It's totally working. So hopefully YouTube is okay with me showing these messages in my stream. Hopefully it's not against the TOS for me to be doing this. But I just wanted to demonstrate that this does work. Is that you can have multiple chats in the same like group. I could probably work on improving the formatting a little bit, but it does work, and it combines them. And you can combine any number of streams. And here's the craziest part that I didn't even mention. You can use other people's streams. You can go on any stream on Twitch or YouTube or Kick, put in the URL, and it'll start capturing them and putting them in the overlay. I could go on Twitch. I don't know if I really want to show my Twitch, but like I could show. I don't know. I don't want to show that. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that because I don't want to pull someone else's chat into this. But I literally can. You literally can. If someone gave me consent that they were streaming and they wanted me to test it, I would do that. But that's how I've been testing the software. Is I go on YouTube and I go on like Burnt Peanut's stream on YouTube. He has like he has 100,000 people watching a stream at once. And I stress test the program with his stream. It has all of Burnt Peanut's comments like piling up, and it's going so fast. And I combine multiple chats together. You combine like Burnt Peanut's stream with Asmongold's stream, and then you have like two giant, super chatty streams in one place, and neither of them are mine. It's crazy how like it's able to do that. So it's a very unusual program. I don't think that there's any other software that's able to do that. Because the way this works is when you make this connection, it invisibly opens up a browser in the background that is reading the chat. The reason it's not illegal is because it's just opening up an invisible window in the background that is reading the chat. Here's an example. Let's try. So this is what it's doing, and this is why it's not illegal. Check it out. Will it show like the channel owner icon or our mod if it's pulled from a stream that they moderate? No. So at the moment, it doesn't differentiate the owner or like the source that it comes from, because really the point is not for you to pull in other people's chats. But this is what I'm showing. Is this URL, this page that I'm showing right now? Look at this URL. This is a public page. And this is a web page that exists publicly for any given stream. This is the pop-out chat window. So when my Challat software makes one of these connections, it literally in the background is opening up this URL. This is a public URL. It's not secret. There's nothing illegal. Like, you guys can take this URL and you can open up this pop-out chat for this stream right now and see the messages. And you can use this, you can do this URL format for any stream. And this works for Twitch. It works for YouTube. Twitch has a different format, obviously. This is YouTube's stream pop-out chat format. But all that this little window is it doesn't have the stream. It just has the chat. And this is the window. This is the URL that my Challat program, it loads up invisibly in the background. And it's looking at all those chats as they come in. So it's more akin to scraping than using a Twitch API. That's exactly what it is. And that's why this is so fast. Challat is faster than any other third-party overlay because it's a scraper. That's how it works. It's running that, like, it's running this little window in the background. So as soon as this comment appears in this window, my chat program is going to see it, immediately scrape it, at least at the interval rate, you know, down to 500 milliseconds. Every 500 seconds, it's going to check this web page for new messages, grab it, and then put it here. Also, the interval keeps changing. It keeps going back to 1 for some reason. I'm not sure why that is. But that's why this is so fast. It's faster than anything else. Because if you use the Twitch API or the YouTube API, it has to like do a network request to receive that data. And also it's expensive to do that. So you're not necessarily polling since you can react immediately when it appears in the hidden browser window. Yes, exactly. Calling it polling is a little bit incorrect, right? Because my program is not querying anything. It's using Puppeteer, which is like a web framework invisible processing thing, to invisibly hold this window open and check for new messages as they come in. Yeah. And that's the trick to making it work. That's the trick to making it so fast. I really do think it's faster than any other option out there, except for the built-in option. Using the built-in YouTube pop-out chat or the built-in Twitch pop-out chat, I think that will always be the fastest response time. What is this? Oh, this is my chat software. So you can see above my head, there's this chat software. It's all custom coded. But earlier in the stream, I was showing off a lot of the Steam store page stuff because a lot of it carries over to Moonshire. So earlier in the stream, I was showing all the Moonshire assets. And now I'm kind of going to shoot through these Challat ones. Like I was saying, I really want to make this main capsule more interesting. Have some like clip art or some kind of something. It's just so boring. Jam. Oh my gosh, yeah. I love the Deltarune soundtrack. But there's a lot of things that you can add in here. And actually, I don't even know what these broadcast assets are. The live broadcast will appear on the store page above the trailer in the screenshot section. Oh. I still don't really know what this is. Is this for, like, promotions or something? I'm not sure, but there's a lot of things that you can add in these. Also, this weekend I spent a lot of time working on the wording on this stuff. I spend so much time writing, even though, like, this is only a paragraph worth of information. I spent so much time, like, fine-tuning the wording and going back and forth and trying to make sure that there's nothing that sounds redundant or annoying, making sure that all the information is there. Yeah. We're about at the end of the stream. It was a really good one. Thank you all folks for being here. It was a great stream, and I will be back next week for more Moonshire goodness. Thank you for bearing with me while I get used to the new setup, the new graphics card, and there's a bit of stuff I'm trying to get over, but appreciate you bearing with me, and I will be back next week for yet another Moonshire Monday. Thanks everyone. Bye.